Hi everyone, my name is Steve Lillyston and you're tuned into Our Library, which is a 60-minute program sponsored by the lovely folk from the libraries all around Wairarapa to let you know about some of the many new books, programs and services and so on being introduced into the libraries in the coming months. Our library is being broadcast to you today on Arrow 92.7 FM, your community access radio channel, and on Wairarapa TV on Freeview Channel 41. This program is broadcast live on the third Friday of each month at 2:30 and repeated on the fourth Friday again at 2:30. So let's get started. First up, I'd like to talk about some of the fiction being introduced into the libraries in the coming months. So first up is Bird Life. This is by Anna Smale. The second novel by Booker Prize long-listed author Anna Smale. A lyrical and ambitious exploration of madness and what it is like to experience the world differently. In Ueno Park, Tokyo, as workers and tourists gather for lunch, the pollen blows, a fountain erupts, pigeons scatter, and two women meet, changing the course of one another's lives. Dinah has come to Japan from New Zealand to teach English and grieve the death of her brother Michael, a troubled genius who was able to channel his problems into music as a classical pianist, until he wasn't. In the seemingly empty, eerie apartment block where Dinah has been housed, she sees Michael everywhere, even as she feels his absence sharply. When Yasuko was 13, animals began to speak to her, to tell her things she didn't always want to hear. She suppressed these powers for many years, but sometimes she allows them to resurface, to the dismay of her adult son, June. One day she returns home and June has gone. Even her special gifts cannot bring him back. As these two women deal with their individual trauma, they form an unlikely friendship in which each will help the other to see a different possible world. As Smale teases out the tension between our internal and external lives and asks what we lose by having to choose between them. So that's Bird Life by Anna Smale. Anna Smale is a 44-year-old New Zealand poet and novelist, and a former violinist. She studied at University College London and Victoria University Wellington. All right, so that's Bird Life by Anna Smale. Next up is His Favourite Graves. This is by Paul Cleave. Acacia Pines, USA. Sheriff Cohn's life is falling apart. His father's moved in after accidentally burning down the care home. His wife has moved out. And his son is bullying other kids at school. When high school student Lucas Connor is abducted, Cohen sees a chance to get his life back on track, to win back his wife and scoop up the reward money offered for the capture of the perpetrator. But as the body count rises, it becomes clear that Cohen's going to have to make the kind of decision from which there's no coming back. A choice with deadly consequences. So that's His Favourite Graves by Paul Cleave. And Paul Cleave is a 48-year-old New Zealand award-winning crime fiction author based in Christchurch. So there we are. I'll start off with two local novelists. That was His Favourite Graves by Paul Greaves. Next is Alex Cross Must Die. This is by James Patterson. When an American Airlines plane explodes in the sky, detectives Alex Cross and John Sampson are first on the scene. They don't hear the gunfire at first. The weapon that took down the plane is a remote-controlled Vietnam War-era machine gun. The list of those who possess the training and expertise to operate the stolen .50 caliber weapon is short, and time runs even shorter. But this isn't the only case the pair must solve. They're also tracking a serial killer who's ambushing young men in what the media are calling the dead hours murders. With two killers and two different motives, Cross and Sampson are in a deadly race against time. So that's Alex Cross Must Die by James Patterson. Now, James Patterson is a 73-year-old author and philanthropist who lives in Florida. Very prolific writer. Amongst his works are the Alex Cross, Michael Bennett, Women's Murder Club, Maximum Ride, Daniel X, NYPD, the whole raft of them here, as well as many standalone thrillers, non-thrillers, non-fiction and romance novels. And he's collaborated on a number of novels with a number of other writers and non-writers as well, people like Bill Clinton, Dolly Parton. Interesting combinations. He's worked with other people to write novels. So that's Alex Cross Must Die by the renowned James Patterson. Next is The Altar Girls. The Altar Girls by Patricia Gibney. When Detective Lottie Parker receives news that a child's body has been found in the frozen grounds of the cathedral, a shiver runs down her spine. She's terrified it will be 8-year-old Willow Devine, reported missing that morning. But when she arrives at the cathedral holding a photo of Willow with a blonde ponytail and gap-toothed smile, she gets a terrible shock. The body is a young girl, wrapped in a white shroud, a rosary clutched in her frozen fingers, but her hair is dark, not fair. This girl isn't Willow, but another 8-year-old Naomi. Desperate to find a connection between the two girls and to find Willow before it's too late, Lottie speaks to the girls' families and discovers that both girls were altar servers at the cathedral. The charismatic priest, Father Maguire, has a watertight alibi for the time the girls went missing, but Lottie suspects the confused old lady, traumatised by the discovery of Naomi's body, is hiding something. A day later, Willow's little body is found wrapped in a white robe in the snowy grounds of a church across town. Lottie is devastated, convinced now that she can't trust anyone, least of all the girls' parents. Why did Willow's mother claim the girls didn't know each other? And why are there no photos of Naomi in her mother's shabby house? But when a little boy from the choir goes missing too, Lottie realises she must spread her net wider. Can she stop this twisted killer before another precious life is stolen? Dun, dun, dun. So that's The Altar Girls by Patricia Gibney. Patricia Gibney is a 61-year-old Irish author of crime fiction. She's sold 100,000 copies of her first crime thriller as an e-book, as her total sales exceeding 500,000 copies in 2018. Anyway, she's very, very popular. That's Patricia Gibney, an Irish, 61-year-old Irish author. That's The Altar Girls by Patricia Gibney. Now we've got America Fantastica. This is by Tim O'Brien. When Boyd Halverson, star journalist turned notorious online disinformation troll turned JCPenney manager, robs the California bank where teller Angie Bing works and takes her hostage, he has one goal before the authorities catch up with him: settle a score with the man who destroyed his life. By Monday, the pair reach Mexico. By winter, they are in a lakefront mansion in Minnesota. On their trail are hitmen, jealous lovers, ex-cons, an heiress, a billionaire shipping tycoon, a 3-tour veteran of Iraq, and the ghosts of Boyd's past. Everyone, it seems, except the police. So that's America Fantastica by Tim O'Brien. Now, Tim O'Brien is a 77-year-old American novelist who served as a soldier in the Vietnam War. Much of his writing is about wartime Vietnam, and his later work often explores the post-war lives of its veterans. And we've had one of these books before. That's America Fantastica by Tim O'Brien. Now this is The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. On a hot summer's day in 1960s Maine, USA, 6-year-old Joe watches his little sister Ruthie sitting on her favourite rock at the edge of the blueberry fields. Their family, Micmac people from Nova Scotia, are spending the summer there, picking fruit. Later that day, Ruthie vanishes without a trace. Joe was the last person to see her. For decades he is haunted by grief, by guilt, and by the agony of imagining how his life could have been. In an affluent suburban town nearby, Norma is growing up as the only child of unhappy, emotionally distant parents. Norma is smart, precocious, and bursting with questions she isn't allowed to ask. Why are there no photos of her as a baby? Why is her skin so much darker than her white parents? And what is she to make of the strange, vivid dreams of campfires and warm embraces that return night after night? Norma is bright enough to realise that there are things her parents aren't telling her. But the truth is far worse than she could have imagined, because for Norma to understand who she really is, she will also have to confront the people who raised her, the terrible things they are capable of, and the secrets they have kept buried since she was a little girl. So that's The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. Amanda Peters is a young Canadian writer from Falmouth, Nova Scotia, whose debut novel, The Berry Pickers, which this is, was a shortlisted finalist for the 2023 Atwood Gibson Writers Trust Fiction Prize and the 2024 Andrew Carnegie Medal for Excellence in Fiction. So there you go, it's a debut novel. Sometimes debut novels are really neat. I've read quite a few recently, and they're fun to read, and you get to find a new author as well. So that's The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. This one is The Blood of Others, and this is by Graham Hurley. Set in Dieppe, August 1942. A catastrophe no headline dared admit. Plans are underway for the boldest raid yet on Nazi-occupied France. Over 6,000 men will storm ashore to take the port of Dieppe. Lives will change in an instant, both on the beaches and in distant capitals. Annie Wren, working at Lord Mountbatten's Cloak and Dagger Combined Operations Headquarters, is privy to the top-secret plans for the daring cross-channel raid. Young Canadian journalist George Hogan, protege of influential Lord Beaverbrook, faces a crucial assignment that will test him to breaking point. And Abwehr intelligence officer William Schultz is baiting a trap to lure thousands of Allied troops to their deaths. 3 lives linked by Operation Jubilee. The Dieppe raid, 19th of August 1942. Over 6,000 men will storm the heavily defended French beaches. Less than half of them will make it back alive. Now Graham Hurley, so that's The Blood of Others by Graham Hurley. Graham Hurley was born in 1946 at Clacton-on-Sea in the UK. He's an English crime fiction writer, formerly based in Portsmouth but now relocated in the West Country. He's best known for creating the character of D.I. Joe Faraday, Detective Inspector Joe Faraday, following several standalone novels. So that's The Blood of Others by Graham Hurley. And now we've got California Golden. This is by Melanie Benjamin. It's a totally different setting. This is Southern California, 1960s. Endless sunny days surfing in Malibu, followed by glittering neon nights at Whiskey A Go Go. In an era where women are expected to be housewives, Carol Donnelly is breaking the mould as a legendary female surfer, struggling to compete in a male-dominated sport, and her daughters, Mindy and Ginger, bear the weight of her unconventional lifestyle. The Donnelly sisters grow up enduring their mother's absence, physically when she's at the beach, and emotionally the rare times she's at home. To escape questions about Carol's whereabouts and chase their mum's elusive affection, they cut school to spend their days in the surf. From her first time on a board, Mindy shows a natural talent, but Ginger, 2 years younger, feels out of place in the water. As they grow up and their lives diverge, Mindy and Ginger's relationship ebbs and flows. Mindy finds herself swept up in celebrity, complete with beachside love affairs, parties at the Playboy Club, and USO tours to Vietnam. Meanwhile, Ginger, desperate for a community of her own, is tugged into the vibrant counterculture of drugs and cults. Through it all, their sense of duty to each other survives, as the girls are forever connected by the emotional damage they carry from their unorthodox childhood. A gripping emotional story set at a time when mothers were expected to be Donna Reed, not Gidget. California Golden is an unforgettable novel about 3 women living in a society that was shifting as tempestuously as the breaking waves. So that's a little bit interesting. That's a total break. That's California Golden by Melanie Benjamin. Melanie Benjamin was born in 1962 in Indianapolis, Indiana. And Indiana is, and it's the pen name of best-selling American writer of historical fiction, Melanie Hauser. So there you go. She normally writes under the name Melanie Hauser when she's doing historical fiction, but this is just a novel, I guess. It's still history, 1960s. So it's California Golden by Melanie Benjamin. Alrighty, well, at this point I'll take a small music break, and when we come back I'll talk about some of the programs and services being available in the libraries all around Wairarapa. So if you just hang fire, we'll just have a quick music break.
Oh, Daddy, you know you make me cry. How can you love me? I don't understand why. Oh, Daddy, if I can make you see, if there's been a fool around, it's got to be me. Yes, it's got to be me. Oh, Daddy, you soothe me with your smile. You're letting me know you're the best thing in my life. Oh, Daddy, if I can make you see, if there's been a fool around, it's got to be me. Yes, it's got to be me. Just alright, and I can't walk away from you, baby, if I try. Oh, Daddy, you soothe me with your smile. You're letting me know you're the best thing in my life. Oh, Daddy, if I could make you see, if there's been a fool around, it's got to be me. Yes, it's got to be me. Yes, it's got to be me. Yes, it's got to be
Hi, welcome back. Or if you've just tuned in, my name is Steve Lillyston, and you're tuned in to Our Library, which is a 60-minute program sponsored by the libraries all around Wairarapa to let you know about some of the new books, programs and services and so on that are available at your library in the coming months. Now, in the first part of this program, I talked about some of the fiction being introduced to the libraries in the coming months, and at this point I'd like to talk about some of the programs and services that are available at all the libraries in Wairarapa. Now, to start off with, common to all libraries in the Wairarapa, there are no more overdue charges. You may or may not know that, but it's always nice to know. So there's no more overdue charges anymore. Now, all Wairarapa libraries offer access through the library app, and you can get that library app through the Google or Apple Play stores, free. The app lets you reserve and renew items and see what new stock is coming in. It's very good. You can also use it to scan an ISBN on any item. That's the barcode at the back of the book, and it will let you know if the local library has that item. If it does and you want it, you can reserve it for pickup. Pretty cool. Now, one of the programs they have is, or all libraries have, is working with the group. It's Digital Seniors. And that program is run regularly with on-site sessions at all libraries. Free help for those more involved technical questions for seniors who may be not quite as tech savvy, like myself. So that can be very useful. The Masterton has it every Wednesday from 10 till 12, Carterton every Tuesday from 9 till 12, and Greytown every Tuesday from 1:30 to 3:30. Skinny Jump. This is gives you access to broadband for as little as $5 a month. It's a little program that you can get through the libraries. It's $5 a month, and it can be quite handy. If you're a pensioner, have a family, or just struggling to afford a reasonable internet connection, this might be the thing for you. Contact your local librarian to find out more details. Now, if you need a JP for any reason, signed documents and so on, they're available at the following libraries: Masterton, Saturdays 10 till 12, Carterton, Fridays 12 till 2, Greytown, second and last Tuesday of each month from 11 till 1. At Featherstone and Martinborough, there's a list of JPs with contact details on the Wairarapa Library Services website. But basically, if you need a JP, just contact your local library, and if you don't take this down, and you can access a JP for free through your library. Very handy. Now, if you don't have time to visit or just want to browse and borrow from the comfort of your home, download Libby. That's an e-reader that's got access to 40,000 titles. It's very good. I use that quite a lot. Especially useful for books that aren't in circulation anymore. In hard cover, there's a number of books that are in ebook format but not in hardcover format. So that's quite handy. If you're not sure how to work that, just talk to your local library. It's Libby. You can pick it up from Apple or any of those Play stores. But other than that, just come into the library and browse. There's always something there for everyone. They're not just books. There are posters, books, all sorts of things. Now, specific to the Marston Library, there's a number of programs that only exist at the Marston Library. The first is called The Gathering, and that's simply a conversation group. It's a group where you can meet others, you can talk, share, make connections, have a cup of tea, chat. That's every Monday from 1 to 2. There's also a program called Sit, Knit and Yarn. It's probably obvious what that is. That's on Fridays from 10 to 12. That's an opportunity for anybody who's has a crafty sort of inclination to deal with crafts. You can share ideas, skills, assist each other with your problems. Members knit for donation, most notably for newborns at Marston Maternity, as well as working on their own projects for family and friends. And it's free. All these are free, by the way, unless I specifically say they're not. It's very rare that they're not. Most of them are free programs and services that libraries run for you. Family story time every Saturday at the Marston Library from 10:30 to 11. So take your little kiddie along to that. Beamer Film. Now this is a new streaming service, relatively new, available to holders of a Marston Library card, which is free. A library card is free. You can download the app to your device, the Beamer Film app, set up an account using the Marston Library account, and you can watch a variety of movies and TV series on your device. You can even borrow a ukulele for 2 weeks. There you go. You get a ukulele, a songbook, and a handy carry case. All sorts of things available at the Marston Library. Now, the Marston District Library will be closed on Saturday, 23rd of December, until Tuesday, the 2nd of January, reopening Wednesday, the 3rd of January at 9:30. During the closed period, their return slots will be closed, so hold on to your items until they open again, and no overdue charges will be applied. Marston Library appreciates your support. So don't try and pop your books back in the slot, just wait until the library's open again on Wednesday the 3rd of January and take them back then. Better Digital Futures. Now this is a program for seniors seeking help in going online. Very similar to the seniors program. Participants join classes to learn new skills and build confidence using computers, smartphones, etc. These are digital pathway courses. Register and attend all 5 in the series. Classes are free and are at the Marston Library Wednesdays from 3:30 to 5:30. Marston Library is pleased to announce their wondrous summer reading adventure for 23/24 year. The program is open to Tamariki aged 0 to 12 years of age and runs from December 4 to January 17. Read 10 books to earn a golden ticket to the finale, as well as tickets to the prize draw of your choice. Download the Beanstack Tracker app to get started today, or drop by the library to get a paper copy. So that sounds like fun. All right, so that's the Marston Library. Now the Wairarapa Library Service, that's the service that manages Carterton, Greytown, Martinborough and Featherston libraries. It's all under the one umbrella of the Wairarapa Library Service, WLS. Now, WLS runs an evening book club that meets on Zoom the first Wednesday of every month. That's online Zoom at 7 p.m. That's really neat. You get a book. Everybody gets the same book. You read it for that month, and then you go online on a Zoom chat sort of thing and discuss the book. It's a lot of fun. And there's also a morning book club, and this is a totally different format. That meets on the last Wednesday of every month at Carterton Courthouse for a friendly cuppa. And that's all about just people that like reading. They get along there and just chat about the books that they're reading, and you get ideas from what people are reading. There are no assigned books. You just get there and you talk about books, and it's a friendly get-together, chatty sort of thing. Now there's also Wairarapa. That's a program available for children ages 0 to 5. Story time for preschoolers during school terms includes stories, music, singing, movement and rhymes. Now that's on from 10 till 10:30, but held at different time, different days for each library. So contact your local library to find out what time it is and what day it is there. There are brick club sessions for older children. These are held every week at all 4 libraries. And again, check the WLS website for session days and times, or chat to your friendly librarian. Lego style bricks are provided for hands-on fun with a different theme challenge each week. Now, if you're stuck at home, you can't get into town, you're homebound for whatever reason, you can sign up for the library's free Homelink service. And every 3 weeks they drop up to a dozen hand-picked books and take back the ones needing returned, which is quite handy. You can check out the fancy and easy self-issuing. That's instead of those big machines you often see in the libraries, WLS uses its phone app to self-issue items. This means you can easily browse the library, grab a book or magazine, and just scan it with your phone and issue it to yourself. There's now a new chat feature on the website. Ask questions, you get answers in real time on the WLS website. Now, a relatively new program here is called the Wairarapa Library Service Story Walk. That's located in Martinborough at the top of Considine Park. That's at the corner of Kitchener and Princess Streets. It winds through to the Vintner Lane exit. It's a fabulous way to enjoy a children's story while walking, hopping, skipping or jumping along the path. The walk takes 12 to 15 minutes and is the perfect addition to a family picnic or children's birthday celebration. The stories change throughout the year, so this is an activity to return to. Perfect for ages 3 to 8 and the young at heart. Joy Cowley's delightful Greedy Cat's Christmas is the feature story this month, just in time for the festive season. So that's a fun thing. That's the Wairarapa Library Service Walk, Story Walk. Now, community law outreach clinics. Carlton Library, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on the first Friday of each month. Martinborough, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the fourth Wednesday. Greytown Library, 1 till 3 on the fourth Wednesday of each month. So that's quite handy. Community law outreach if you need any help with any legal issues. Talk to your local library and find out when that is on if you don't write that down. Now, our new interim opening hours, effective 21st of August. All libraries under the WLS umbrella are now open every Saturday from 9:30 till 12. Featherstone Library only closed every Wednesday. Greytown and Martinborough Libraries closed every Thursday. Carlton Library operating hours unchanged, i.e. Monday to Friday and Saturday 9:30 till 1. Now there's a new book club. This is the Martinborough Book Club that meets every third Wednesday of the month from 10 till 12. Unleash your love for literature. Bring along what you're currently reading to share with others. Very similar to the one that's held in Carterton. Bring along the book that you're currently reading and chat about it, or not. You can just sit there and listen to others chat. It's totally over to you. Connect with other book enthusiasts and just have a chat. Sounds like a lot of fun. Now, Christmas is only a few weeks away. If you're stuck for Prezi ideas and like the idea of a sustainable gift giving, why not come along to a Divine River workshop at your nearest library? Previous workshops on making candles, scented bath salts and natural lip balms have been very popular. The next series of workshops will show you how to make Christmas candles. They'll be held on Thursday the 21st of December at Featherston Library from 10 till 12 and Carterton Library from 2 till 4. These hands-on workshops are free and materials will be provided. How good is that? See, all these programs are free. Wide variety of programs. Now, for something a little bit different, they're all different, why not experience a virtual reality tour of the wetlands of the Wairarapa? This has been developed by Ngāti Kahungunu and Victoria University. This technology enables you to explore our region's wetlands, hear their stories and learn about this beautiful part of our landscape. Last session will be at Martinborough Library on Saturday the 16th of December, that'll be tomorrow, from 9:30 until noon. Free entry and all are welcome. Now, whether you're an established writer or just starting your writing journey, it helps to get together with other writers for support and inspiration. Right Now Wairarapa is a new writing group, a community of writers which meets at the Carterton Library on the first Wednesday of the month from 1 to 1:30 and on the third Saturday from 10 till 12, where author Pia Buck is based to discuss their work and refine their craft. The first meeting is this Saturday, November 18th. New members welcome. For more information and to register, please go to the WLS website. And lastly, Christmas and New Year hours. All South Wairarapa libraries will be closed at noon on Friday the 22nd of December, reopens at 9:30 a.m. on Monday the 8th of January. All right, well, that's just some of the programs and services that are available at a library near you, and they're all free. Can't be bad, can it? All right, so I think we'll have a small music break now, and when we come back, I'll talk about some of the non-fiction being introduced into the libraries in the coming months. So let's have a quick music break.
I gotta quit this habit. It's like some drug for you. You've been my sweet, sweet addict. I've been your little white boy blue. You've got the same obsession. We ain't no cat and mouse. You linger on my lips like confession. You laid the tracks in this house, and it's no use. Either way we'll lose, you and me at the crossroads of Blue Avenue. Hit and run, hearts collide here. True love passes through. Looks like we've got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. Two hearts get entangled, dirty minds, they go to town. Everyone's got an angle, little lies get spread around. Let them say what they want. You and me, we already knew. Takes more than hocus pocus, babe, to save you from Blue Avenue. And it's no use, each way we lose, you and me at the crossroads of Blue Avenue. Hit and run, hearts collide here, true love passes through. Looks like we got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue. The crossroads of Blue Avenue. Hit and run, hearts collide here. True love passes through. Looks like we got a wreck, babe, up on Blue Avenue. Up on Blue Avenue. Blue Avenue.
Hi, welcome back. Or if you've just tuned in, my name is Steve Lillyston and you're tuned in to our library. Hi there. Which is a 6-minute program sponsored by the lovely folk from the libraries all around Wairarapa to let you know about some of the many new books, programs and services and so on being introduced into the libraries in the coming months. Now, in the first part of the program, I talked about some of the fiction being introduced. In the second part, I talked about some of the programs and services that are available at the libraries all around Wairarapa. This part I'd like to talk about some of the non-fiction being introduced into the libraries. And again, the thing I love about the libraries is all the new stuff that's coming in is so varied, such a huge variety of fiction as well as non-fiction that comes in every single month. Hundreds and thousands of books that come in every single month. Now, the first one is called Being Henry, The Fonz and Beyond, and it's by Henry Winkler. You may remember the name. So this is from an Emmy Award-winning actor, author, comedian, producer and director Henry Winkler, The Fonz, a deeply thoughtful memoir of the lifelong effects of stardom and the struggle to become whole. Henry Winkler launched into prominence as The Fonz in the beloved Happy Days, and has transcended the role that made him who he is. Brilliant, funny and widely regarded as the nicest man in Hollywood, though he would be the first to tell you that it's simply not the case. He's really just grateful to be here. Henry shares in this achingly vulnerable memoir the disheartening truth of his childhood, the difficulties of a life with severe dyslexia, the pressures of a role that takes on a life of its own, and the path forward once your wildest dreams seem behind you. Since the glorious era of Happy Days fame, Henry has endeared himself to a new generation, with roles in such adored shows as Arrested Development, Parks and Recreation, and Barry, where he's been revealed as an actor with immense depth and pathos, a departure from the period of his life when he was so distinctly typecast as the Fonz he could hardly find work. Filled with profound heart, charm and self-deprecating humour, Being Henry is a memoir about so much more than a life in Hollywood and the curse of stardom. It's a meaningful testament to the power of sharing truth and kindness and of finding fulfilment within yourself. So that's Being Henry, The Fonz Are Beyond by Henry Winkler. Now this one is called Conflict. This is the evolution of warfare from 1945 to Ukraine. This is by David Howell Petraeus. Conflict is both a sweeping history of the evolution of warfare up to Putin's invasion of the Ukraine, and a penetrating analysis of what we must learn from the past and anticipate in the future in order to navigate an increasingly perilous world. In this deep and incisive study, General David Petraeus, who commanded the US-led coalitions in both Iraq and Afghanistan, and former CIA director, and the prize-winning historian Andrew Roberts, explore over 70 years of conflict, drawing significant lessons and insights from their fresh analysis of the past, and drawing on their different perspectives and areas of expertise. Petraeus and Roberts show how often critical mistakes have been repeated time and time again, and the challenge for statesmen and generals alike of learning to adapt to various new weapon systems, theories and strategies. Among the conflicts examined are the Arab-Israeli wars, the Korean and Vietnam wars, the two Gulf wars, the Balkan wars and the former Yugoslavia, and both the Soviet and coalition wars in Afghanistan, as well as guerrilla conflicts in Africa and South America. So heavy stuff, but I imagine that would be absolutely brilliant. By Conflict, the Evolution of Warfare from 1945 to Ukraine by David Howell Petraeus. Next up is George Harrison, The Reluctant Beatle by Philip Norman. Despite being hailed as one of the best guitarists of his era, George Harrison, particularly in his early decades, battled feelings of inferiority. He was often the butt of jokes from his bandmates owing to his lower class background, and typically was allowed to contribute only 1 or 2 songs per Beatles album out of the dozens he wrote. Now, acclaimed Beatles biographer Philip Norman examines Harrison through the lens of his numerous self-contradictions. Compared to songwriting luminaries John Lennon and Paul McCartney, he was considered a minor talent. Yet he composed such masterpieces as While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Here Comes the Sun, and his solo debut album All Things Must Pass achieved enormous success, appearing on many lists of the 100 best rock albums ever. Harrison railed against the material world, yet wrote the first pop song complaining about income tax. Unprecedented in scope and filled with numerous colour photos, this rich biography captures George Harrison at his most multifaceted: devoted friend, loyal son, master guitar player, brilliant songwriter, cocaine addict, serial philanderer, global philanthropist, student of Indian mysticism, self-deprecating comedian, and ultimately iconic artist and man beloved by millions. So that's George Harrison by Philip Norman. And now we have Masterton's Moment of Glory, Golden Games 1963 by Mark Sidney Pacey. In 1963, Masterton Public Relations Officer Len Bergman came up with a brilliant idea of how to bring in tourists and recognition to the town. An ambitious sporting spectacle staged over 2 weeks, consisting of 40 sports and talent from all over the country. The Masterton Golden Games were the start of a proposed biennial festival which would help put Masterton on the map, from rugby to living chess, and from local sports people to Peter Snell. The 1963 Golden Games were an event well worth celebrating and a proud moment of our history. There you go, bit of local history. Masterton's Moment of Glory by Mark Sidney Pacey. Now, just to cap it off, I thought you might be interested in listening to some of the books that, hear about some of the books that I've been reading the last month. Now, in the last month I managed to get through 5 books, and unusually for me, 4 of them are non-fiction. I normally read fiction, I rarely read non-fiction, but so first up was Profiles in Ignorance, and that's by Andy Borovitz. And this is basically, it's a dig at American politicians, how they got dumber and dumber. We won't go into Trump, but he features largely in this as well. But it's not just about Trump, it's about a lot of the earlier politicians, mainly presidents, just how dumb they were. Really interesting stuff. The fiction I read was Water by John Boyne, my favourite Irish author. Absolutely brilliant, just absolutely loved it. Set in a small island off the coast of Ireland, where a woman goes to escape her past, which includes a husband convicted of molesting children in his care, including his daughter who commits suicide, and another daughter that she's estranged from. It's a fabulous book, just absolutely loved it, as I do with all John Boyne's work. I also read Shakespeare, The Man Who Pays the Rent, and that was by Judi Dench. And it's a deep delve into Shakespeare's plays she's been in. But I must admit, and I love Shakespeare, and I love Judi Dench, but it got pretty heavy for me. If you're a Shakespeare fan and want to know a bit more about her life and her thoughts on Shakespeare, it's a fabulous book, really, but pretty deep. It's heavy going. Unruly by David Mitchell, the English comedian, not the sci-fi writer. There are two David Mitchells, apparently. The David Mitchell that goes on QI and all those British shows. And it's a history of English monarchy since the Romans left about 400 BC. And it's really a neat expose on kings and queens and just like what they were really like, how they came about, and where we are now with royalty and how we view them. It's a fascinating book. Loved it. And the last book I just read is called Invisible Child by Andrea Elliott. Pretty heavy one. Follows 8 years in the life of a girl born and raised in a homeless shelter in Brooklyn, New York. And it's indictment on the racial issues in America, particularly Brooklyn, particularly New York, Brooklyn, New York. But a really interesting book to read. Pretty heavy going, but absolutely fascinating. And right now I'm reading Skin Deep by Liz Nugent. And Liz Nugent is a new author for me, Irish author. But I absolutely love her writing. She's just a lovely writer. So I'm getting into her works now. So that's where I am with my reading. Hope you enjoyed that. So that's it from me. I'm Steve Lillyston. This was our library, a 60-minute program sponsored by the lovely folk from the libraries all around Wairarapa to let you know about some of the many new books, programs and services being introduced into the libraries in the coming months. This is quite possibly our last Our Library. I've been producing the show for nearly 4 years now, and it's been huge fun, and I hope it's brought some joy to you. But keep watching this space, because you never know what's coming next. I'm a huge fan of our local libraries. They're such a wonderful community resource, and best of all, they're free. They just do so much for the community. They're a fabulous community hub. They're almost like a community hub now instead of the old-fashioned libraries. They do so much, they offer so much, and it's all for free. So that's one of the main reasons I've been doing this show, because of my love for the libraries. You're fabulous, you people out there working in the libraries. I would also like to say a huge thank you to Michael, Veronica and the team at Arrow 92.7 FM. You've been absolutely amazing with your help and support, and as they say, I couldn't possibly have done this without you. So I really do appreciate the help and support you give me. Thanks, guys. Thank you for tuning in over the last 4 years, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the shows. Now, if anybody out there would like their voice to be heard, Arrow 92.7 FM is a great platform for you to do that. And I'd encourage you to call in, talk to Michael or Veronica, the team, and get something set up. And finally, after all that waffling, happy reading. Bye-bye.